This tool is programmed by in Perl, and DNSenum is a tool that it was designed with the purpose of enumerating DNS information about a domain. We can get information by using DNS tool, a DNSenum tool over here. So what it does is that it gets the host address, the name servers, the MX records, it tries the zone transfers, it gets the bind version, it also gets the extra names and subdomains via Google scraping. Brute force subdomains from file can also perform recursion on subdomain that have NS records, and it can also go ahead and perform reverse lookups on net ranges, and it can also go ahead and write down domain IPs into a text file naming such as IP block or something. So you can just go ahead over here to start DNSenum. You can just type DNSenum over here in the terminal, but I would prefer, if you're a newbie, I would prefer going ahead over here and then starting it through over here. Perfect. The reason being I'm telling you that is because, and you should read all of these things because it will give you quite a better idea as to what each of these tags does and how they work exactly. So it's not quite that hard as well. And as you can see, we have the option for skipping the reverse lookups, disable ANSI color output, and we can also include the sub files over here, the TCP, UDP, datagram, timeout values. So in short, we have almost everything. We also have the whois command over here, which I can go ahead and combine, and I have multiple lookups. So this will give you, so this is how the geeky look of the DNSenum looks like. So if you want to gather information about a specific website, just go ahead and add the specific website's name, and make sure that even in the previous tools that I showed you on Kali Linux, you never go ahead and type, let's say, I'll just open another one. Let's say if you're using any random tool, so I'll just type random. Random is the name of the tool, any tool you are using. And if you want to go or gather information about a website, let's say Google or Microsoft, so you don't type www.google.com, you just type google.com. You don't type www, because if you do that, then there may be some kind of complications which happens in Kali Linux. It is not able to recognize that properly, and you will get some errors. So we don't go ahead and do www.google.com. We just do google.com. Yes, I'll be using these. So let's assume that we wanted to gather information about Facebook. So extra names and subdomains can also be found out via Google scraping, and most of the time this is not working with all domains, but it does work sometimes. So let's go ahead and first gather information using DNSenum, and we'll type facebook.com. And let's see what information we get. Okay, so we have the name servers over here, the IP addresses of each server. Now it's trying to get a zone transfer. It failed because I did not provide any brute force file or any password file so that it can go ahead and crack the DNS query. So, but we can still go ahead and type some extra subdomains or via Google scraping. So we will just go ahead and try to do that, and let's check what we get. So I'll type DNSenum, and I'll type, let's say, P5S20 facebook.com. Perfect. So what it does is that P is the number of pages that it would check, and I have provided over here as 5, so 5 pages it would check, and 20 is the number of Google search pages to process. The default is 20 pages, which I have provided, and S is the switch that must be specified, and minus S is the scrap value, so the maximum number of subdomains that will be scrapped. And since this is not functional, you can manually run this command in a Google search, such as all in www.sitename, and you will still get the same thing. So I'll first go ahead and run this over here, and after that I'll go ahead and run the same thing to Google, and I'll show it to you. Let's check if we get some more stuff. Zone transfer won't work because the reason being that I have not yet provided any random file to it. It has started scraping subdomains from Google for facebook.com. So let's check what we get. Perfect. So it is scraped, but it did not get anything because Google is most probably blocking the queries. But this is how it works, and I'll show you how it works in Google if I go ahead and do the same thing. So I'll just type all. Perfect. Let's see what we get. Perfect. So we have all these subdomains for Facebook and who all are using them. So you can see that we have it for www.facebook.com, and these are all the subdomains for these different people who have been using them. So you can go ahead and gather this information, and I'll finally show you how we can go ahead and brute force. So just in case this tool is not working, you can go ahead and gather information over there, and then you can go ahead and come back over here to brute force these things. So brute force subdomains open terminal, and it can go ahead and I'll just show it to you. So I'll just type DNSenum -f DNS.txt. Over here, DNS.txt would be your text file which contains n number of passwords, and you need to save it over here in the home. And I'll just go ahead and add it. Let me check if I can go ahead and okay. Perfect. So I don't think that I can go ahead and show. Okay, never mind. So DNS-F. So F is the file name that it provides. It supports, and it will read the subdomains from this file to perform the brute force. So what you could do, you could go ahead and create a DNS.txt file, have all the subdomains in the F, and you can go ahead and brute force to check which subdomains it has. And you can go ahead and type facebook.com. It won't work over here because I have not yet specified anything inside the DNS.txt file. If it had, then it would have checked all these things for the subdomains, and then it would have given me out the proper answer. So that would be it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I'll be teaching you more about the different tools that we can see over here. Let me just getting more information about DNS Dict, DNS Map, Recon, and all these stuff. So, yep.